Longreach is a town in central West Queensland, Australia, and is a well-known tourist destination due to its aviation history and importance. Longreach is approximately 700 kilometres from the coast west of Rockhampton. The town is on the Tropic of Capricorn and is named after the long reach of the Thomson River on which it is situated. Longreach lies within the traditional tribal lands of the Inagay people. The main industries of the area are cattle, sheep, and more recently tourism. A visit to the Australian Stockman's Hall of Fame is a must, and a fantastic place where you can delve into the lives of Australian explorers, stockmen, and Aboriginal people from the local area. It is from here that we begin our search for Tom Quilty.
Hello, I'm Bluey Quilty, and I am at the Australian Stockman's Hall of Fame in Longreach. And I have just bought this book, On the Tracks of Old Bluey, by his great-granddaughter, Bobby Buchanan. Here's something. Hugh Saury. The name Hugh Saury relates me to an artist who did a large drawing of people of one of Tom Quilty's son's place, Ruby Plains in the Kimberley. And it was originally a good length at a good height. So they have some forebears in this locality. Yes, here is Aaron Williams, and this is Hugh Saury. I think this is Hugh Saury's artwork, and maybe these are his paints and brushes. Well, good. Hugh, like I touch you. Hugh Saury's art resembles the artwork of the Brocken Hill man. Think of his name. I'll send you a prize. G'day. Are you real? You're not a model or moving an animation. It's real McCoy. Hello.
There you go.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Bluey Quilty.
Bluey? How are you? Anthony Rennick.
Anthony Reynolds.
Anthony Rennick.
Rennick.
Yeah.
You're a whip maker.
That's me, yep.
And so, have you been doing whips here for some time?
Yeah, this is my 12th season of coming up here.
Okay.
But I've been making whips for 30 years this year.
Oh, where do you come from?
Wagga Wagga, down southern New South Wales.
Wagga. Oh, I know Wagga Wagga.
Yeah.
My university had a home there, CSU.
Still there, yeah.
Yeah. And so, Tell me, you're working on a kangaroo hide whip.
Yeah, 8 plait kangaroo hide.
Ah, 8 plait.
Yep. 8 strands, 4 dark, 4 light. Just tension every strand every time, then I've got the highest one at the back, come around under 2, over 2, back to the same side.
Okay.
Four strands are dark, 4 strands are light. And I just tension every strand every time. And I come around, grab the highest one at the back, and I come around, go under 2, over 2, back to the same side as at the front. So you go from the back to the front, but you're going under 2, over 2 on the way around. Just on the tail end of this whip now. So whereabouts you from?
I'm now in Rutherglen in
Rutherglen, used to be old whipmaker
North
there.
Victoria.
Used to be old whipmaker there, Jack Wilson.
Oh yeah? Okay. Apparently there is a greenhide whip at the Heritage Centre in Julia Creek, which was made by Tom Quilty. So I am very naturally eager to see it.
I didn't know Tom was a whipmaker.
Well, on one occasion in his career, he was in Melbourne on the first tour relating to the Trans-Australian Railway's first trip across the Nullarbor. In Melbourne, which he described as a dirty city, he found a saddle maker, and that saddle maker had a bullwhip. His father was a bullocky. He said this must have been the longest bullwhip in the world. Now he was
Bullocky whip, yeah.
yes,
A bullwhip's
and the
American, yeah.
yes. In my script, we write that the saddler challenged Tom to crack the whip, and that if he cracked the whip, he would give it to him. And
yeah, I've
so
heard
Tom
that story.
went out into Burke Street and threw the whip and cracked it. And so I don't think it's the same whip. It's the one that's in Julia Creek. And that was Tom as a pastoralist who descended to the company's new name, the Quilty Brothers.
I have heard that story before, actually. He went in and if he cracked that whip, he could have it. Went out in the middle of Main Street, Melbourne, and cracked it, yeah. I have.
There's no chance it was my bullshit of getting around the block, mate.
It wasn't, the name wasn't Tom Quilty in the story, but I have heard that story before, yeah.
That is
Back in the day.
I thank you. That is good. Evidence.
Don't mind me, I get lost.
I've been there a few times.
So this is where it should be, but
Yes.
it's not.
So, okay. Well, okay. Stand in. Well, okay, we are not at the position where the original Tom Quilty cut usually is.
That's right.
So, Annette McBride, where the hell is it?
It's been taken very, very carefully down to the Tom Quilty Cup that's on this weekend. It's an annual event that they do, so it's the only time we'll ever let it out of our hands, but we feel it's appropriate that it does go there. So that's where it is this year. It only left a couple of days ago, and it'll be back in a couple of days. So unfortunately, you've just timed it badly. But this is the home.
Fantastic. Well, I think I was one of a number of people who suggested that it did appear at the Tom Quilty Cup. So I understand that it had the room for more inscriptions for further winners, but Aaron Williams did appear to let his wife win. And
Right.
upon that, the suggestion was to bring on a new cup.
Right, yeah. It does have a lot of names on it. I think a new cup was probably a good thing, but we absolutely love having it here. It's one of our prize pieces. People take a great lot of interest in it, and I can't believe you've covered it's not here.
Well, I can't believe I didn't know it was at Edinburgh.
It's at Imble, yes, it'll be returning next Wednesday. So we have one of the competitors from Longreach who's actually undergoing in the endurance race. She's taken it down with white gloves. I hope it comes back with white gloves. I'm very anxious, so yeah.
Okay, well, let us talk a little bit about a Tom Quilty Cup buckle here. The Tom Quilty Endurance Ride chief prize is a buckle, and I think
Yes.
is it a gold buckle and a silver buckle and so on?
Yeah, it is gold and silver. I think just the horse and the outside's
Yes.
the gold,
Yeah.
but that is what the prize is. People go for the buckle. So
The most experienced rider was I forget his name, but he said while he was on the first ride around the position of Richmond, that he stopped with his horse and he said, how do I get convinced to do this? And he looked at his horse, said, I would be rather on the beach, and you would be rather shagging a mare.
fair enough. That's wonderful history, isn't it?
Ron Males,
Okay.
he went on to win, and he had become the most experienced rider
Wow.
in the Tom Quilty Cup.
Oh, it's wonderful to see the event. You know, it still goes on today. So I know they're all very, very passionate lot that get to it. So our stockman that we have here, who normally does the live show over the next 3 days, he's actually left to go down because his wife is competing. So we don't often let him out of here, but he's gone for that. That's how important it is.
Tell me, unto whom has the Hall of Fame passed changing hands?
To whom?
Yes.
In what do you mean?
Which bodies are now owners of the Hall of Fame?
No one's not owned by anyone, it's owned by the public. So it's
Okay.
a non-for-profit organisation, and it's
Public Museum. It's in,
we have a membership basically, so people can become members. We have an AGM every year, and that's how the business is run. So we have a board of directors that are all they're not paid to be
Yeah.
on the board, but they guide it. We've got a great CEO, and we forward it that way. But it's owned by the people.
Okay, good. Well, I'll see what I can do to become a member of the board of directors of the Hall of Fame.
Great, I'd like to be one too. I've got lots of ideas. But anyway, they're a very, very wonderful bunch of people, and they're all very passionate, of course, about the whole, where it all started from and why. And it's all about, now, for us, it's all about telling the stories, you know, and we did a big million, well, you probably know, a $15 million redevelopment here, because not often do museums get a lot of money from the government. So when we got it, we sort of thought we had to look at the future generations, how they're going to connect with museums, and it was all very digital, and that's the way to go. And since we've done it, it's been phenomenal. The younger generation, the schools, the kids that are coming through, we would never have got them if we just had the old museum. So it's certainly given a lot of life to the place.
Okay.
The Royal Flying Doctor Service, commonly known as the Flying Doctor, is an air medical service in Australia. It is a non-profit organisation that provides emergency and primary healthcare services for those living in rural, remote and regional areas of Australia who cannot access a hospital or general practice due to the vast distances of the outback.
Well, we must say thanks to the Australian Stockman's Hall of Fame. And we are leaving now, and we're heading off to Julia Creek up the Kynuna track. At Julia Creek, we will commence our study of sites and locations for the Tom Quilly Project Associates movie production. So, okay then. Here we are at Winton, where the annual Bush Poets Association competition is held.
Once a jolly swagman can buy a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched.
Winton is a town and locality in the Shire of Winton in central West Queensland, Australia. It is 177 kilometres northwest of Longreach. The main industries of the area are sheep and cattle. Winton was the first home of the airline Qantas, having been founded in Winton in 1920. The traditional owners of the Winton area, the Koa people, considered Bladensburg National Park area near Winton to be a special part of their traditional country. In one of Australia's greatest mysteries, the Prussian explorer Ludwig Leichhardt set off on an expedition with a group of men and animals from the Condamine River in the Darling Downs, bound for the Swan River colony across the continent. He was last seen on the 3rd of April 1848 at McPherson's station, Coogan, still on the Darling Downs. His whereabouts thereafter have never been known, but he and his men are believed to have met their end in the Great Sandy Desert. It was also in 1890 that trouble was brewing in Winton, and indeed in other parts of Australia. The tensions between the shearers and their employers would soon come to a head. Winton's Waltzing Matilda Centre tells the story of Waltzing Matilda, of Winton and of the Outback region. The song was written by Banjo Patterson whilst holidaying at a local property, Dagwood Station. The music for the song was arranged by Christina McPherson, the sister of the station manager who was visiting at the same time.
Waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda with me, and his ghost may be heard as you're passing by that billabong.
It is here at the Blue Heeler Hotel, it's claimed, that the bush poet Banjo Patterson first performed the tune Waltzing Matilda, a claim however shared 180 kilometres down the road at Winton's North Gregory Hotel, as the pub's outgoing manager Pat Young explains, though the Blue Heeler has had their version of history confirmed recently. Folklore has it that the owner of the nearby Dagwood station, Bob McPherson, told Patterson about the suicide of the shearer Samuel Hofmeister beside the Combo waterhole, 22 kilometres southeast of the pub. It is said he had a last drink at the Blue Heeler. This story inspired Patterson to write Waltzing Matilda. A sign on the wall declares the Blue Heeler to be the place where the song was, according to Young, first performed.